It's a pleasure to be here, and I want you to know that I have been doing elections for 17 years out of Tucson, Arizona. Oh, you can't hear me? Okay, I'm sorry, is that better? Okay. I am a transparency activist. I've been doing it for 17 years. You saw some of my work on the screen there. When you talk about weighted elections, fraction magic, I was on that team. I was in litigation. The last litigation I did in Arizona, I sued the whole state in 2016. Why? Because Hillary Clinton won the vote by mail by 60%. Bernie Sanders won the precincts by 59%. It broke the rule of large numbers. I accused that the voter database was hacked. 2 months later after the case, the FBI came in and said, yes, the voter database was hacked. For the last 4 years, I've been in 18 states. When Dr. Shiva came in through the Zoom, Dr. Shiva learned about fraction magic and how the ballot images, which I'll go into real quickly, what happened in Massachusetts, because I've done Massachusetts 3 times. You know, I think Dr. Shiva's right, you know, the swamp is fed through Massachusetts. It's an interesting state. I'm from the state of Maine. But you know what, I'm here tonight is with a very special guy who is the chair of the Libertarian Party. He has approached this problem with me, with Ron Mutter, and we're working to try to make elections in this state transparent, trackable, and publicly verified. You know, I want you to know, in this country, well, first off, 17 years ago, when a ballot went in through a machine, it was really a black box. It was, as the ballot went in, a light would come down, and if there was a dark spot, it got absorbed. It was the old IBM system. When we were in school, we did the Iowa test, and you fill in the bubble. Well, that was Mark Sense technology, left no evidence behind. The new systems that we're voting on, they don't count your ballot. They count the picture that it made. In 2016, I sued Pima County. I sued them because they were destroying public records that could prove elections are real. We won the lawsuit. I didn't have a lot of money. I went ahead and I sued them to stop them from destroying the public records. And a brave judge said something that woke me up, that launched me nationally. He says, you know, he was talking to the prosecutor who was working for the county, the lawyer, and he says, you know, I got a question for you. If you take voted ballots and you photocopy them and you use the photocopies to count the vote, what makes you think you can destroy them? They're in the chain of custody. In this state, in order to get a recount, you have to be within 1/10 of 1%. That's an anomaly by itself. It happened in 2004. In 2004, a brave Republican named Anton Orlik ran an LD20. He won his election by 4 votes, and it triggered. So there was a recount, and in that recount, they ran it through another machine. And he then lost by 14 votes. The judge said, gee, that's interesting. What recount should we trust? The first one or the second one? So he says, I want that person who programmed the machine to come in. They hit her. They lied to the judge. They said if Judge Napolitano wanted, the governor of Napolitano wanted that person in here, where would we find him? They lied. It's all on the record. By the way, they say the machines were supposed to be within 1 mark and 250,000. Did I mention that the guy who lost by 4 votes, the other guy won by 14, they found 489 new votes in the record. That could be the ghost that we're fighting. Please, I want you to demand that you get your public records and you ask for the ballot images. Do not ask for the ballots. They're not sorted. They got to be kept that way. We get the ballot images. We have 2 vendors in this country that can rerun them through another system. You have 743 precincts in this county. You used to have a lot more. It's not good to have precincts that big. But they need to come back from them, those images, sorted in precincts, published online, and let everybody look at them. Because truly, cynicism is destroying our country. I've been in North Carolina, courted all across this country. I've been in Massachusetts. In Florida, I'm in litigation right now, suing the largest 8 counties for destroying public records. This is a really bad thing. But you know, there's a guy in this room, one guy, who's the chair of the Libertarian Party, who is insisting to expose the fraud of the Board of Supervisors. This guy right there, Brendan, my friend, is standing up as an American. He's learning to be the we. You know, it was a pleasure working with Ron and to see that there was a Republican, a Libertarian, and guess what, folks? I'm a progressive Democrat, okay? Hope nobody gets shocked. But I do agree on one thing. My acronym is named right. I'm Audit Elections USA. And you know what Audit stands for? Americans United for Democracy, Integrity, Transparency in Elections. And that, you know, I can't say how important that really is, because when I pulled up to Ron's place 10 days ago, and I go, oh my God, his window is filled with MAGA and Trump. I go, I'm a little nervous here. But I walked in, I found him just like me, a talker, who's trying to find solutions. I used to be an election integrity activist. I quit that. You know why? I found a solution. It's called transparency. Voting is a secret process. It's in our Constitution. You're right to a secret ballot, but the government hasn't got the right to a secret count. The solution is simple. Be with me and be the we, like we the people. Let's look at the language that we use. We're turning into tribes. Mr. Farnsworth, I admire your speech, but I'm not worried about voter fraud. It's election fraud. The voters are doing okay. It's the Orwellian language that they tell us. Sometimes we can get in a feedback loop. Please, election fraud. We don't want the ballots, we want the ballot images. Those ballot images is a click of a mouse, and here's your set, here's your set. And they got the originals in a nice, secure facility in the tabulation room. They should not be moved. Those boxes should not be opened, because after we get the images, then we know that the images are married to the ballot, you know, like a library set. Wow. Let's go prove it. The second largest county in the United States has the power to demand their public records and to make elections transparent, trackable, and publicly verified is what we need so bad. And thank you for having me here. Thank you for welcoming me as an American. And with that, Brendan, you got to introduce Brendan, because what he's done is phenomenal. I cannot say more of a great
job, John.